Hi everybody, it's Ann with Art on the Creek. Thanks for joining me again from my home studio in Parker, Colorado. I really respect and admire Lindsay, the frugal crafter. She's another YouTube artist, and she had recently received these from AliExpress. They are a Polychromos colored pencil dupe. I decided that I would go ahead and try and purchase them and see if I like them, because I've had a full set of Polychromos on my list for a long time, but I'm not ready to take that kind of a financial plunge. So I thought it would be good to start with these, and if I like them, great, then I can replace them one by one with Polychromos. Now I do have Prismacolors, and I really love those. These are a little bit different feel, so I thought I could open this with you today, and we could try them out and see how they work. Are you ready? Here we go. I purchased these with my own money. Want to say that first. I'm not sponsored by AliExpress. I'm not sponsored by anything that they sell, or Polychromos, or any art brand at all for that matter. This is just going to be my opinion, my first impression. So I've already cut the box open, and here's how it came. It says it shipped from New York. I'm sure it's imported because I think AliExpress is a Chinese company. Here they are. And just as Lindsay mentioned, the packaging is super similar to the Faber-Castells. That is something that I'm just going to leave the lawyers to decide if that's a good thing or not. To me, it's a generic set of colored pencils, but the packaging does definitely mimic the Faber-Castell packaging, and I'll put a little split screen comparison here so you can see. It says there's 120 colored pencils. Art recommend, so something's lost in the translation, obviously. Oily color pencil. So oil base probably is what they mean. There are 120 in here. I cannot read what these little things say, so we'll just have to wait until I have a magnifier there. I've got my reading glasses on, but that's way too small. Quality, comfortable, delicate. Hope they're not too delicate. Let's see. This is where they're located in China, and they're the colors. Let's see, non-toxic, conforms to EN 713 standard. I'm not familiar with that one. I know here in the United States we use ASTM, so I don't know what this means. Non-benzene or 8 kinds of heavy metal elements, conform to general standard for student supplies. So they are saying these are student grade. Maybe they're saying they're okay for kids to use also. I do not know. The colored pencils are of water soluble, so they can be used with brush. Could give you more than your imagination. Wow, that sounds powerful. I shouldn't laugh, but that's really funny. Maybe these are magic pencils.
They're magical, aren't they?
Warning, contains sharp parts, not suitable for children under 3. Keep away from inflammable materials. Store in a dry environment at room temperature. Let's see, I'll just take some scissors here and open the plastic wrap. Okay. The box was good enough to save, the shipping box, and the bubble wrap. I always save those if I can, try and use them. All right, so it comes in this outer sleeve, and then it has this kind of a little box situation, kind of like a game. Oh, this slides off just like this. There we go. And then you have these envelopes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 envelopes. The outer box is really, really good. It is like a, okay, I'm gonna date myself. It's like the Trivial Pursuit box, which was this fabulous game that was started in the 80s, and the box was so fancy schmancy. Or the Avalon Hill board games. I think pretty much all of the Kickstarter games are packaged this way now, but hey, in my era, that was really special. So I'm impressed with the packaging. Let's take a look here and see what we have. Right away, I can tell you that this is not going to be the most practical way for me to use these. It just seems a little futzy, but let's see. We've got, this opens up. I guess you would just put it like so and use it like that. And then if you were to put it back in here, let's try this. Let's just play around here. So that's the first range of colors. Here's the second one. Good range of reds and purples.
I did end up swatching these out, and I will show you that later.
We're going to try and just color a little quick something to see how it works. Yeah, I can tell right away this is not the way I'm going to be keeping these, but I just want to show you an option. An option that you can do. Those three look really similar, but the leads don't look similar. So, and one more. Oh, and you get the three metallics at the end. Good range of grays. I like that a lot, very much. Okay, so there's the overall situation. But, you know, now that I've taken the time to do that, I'm going to take them right back out. Let's set our little Trivial Pursuit magic box off to the side.
Why do they brought Trivial Pursuit?
It's nice packaging. Let's take a look. Let me do this a little more sensibly here. We'll do this and this and this. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just randomly, if I were to pick one of these up, let's see if I can pick a good one that will be easy to read on camera. Let's try this dark blue one here. They're fairly thick. Here's a Faber-Castell. Nope, here's a Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencil. It is hexagonal, but these are round, and that is fairly thick. Let me see. It's not as thick as the Derwent drawing pencil, but if we're looking at millimeters here, this one is about 7 or 8. 8 millimeters. The Faber-Castell is about 8 millimeters wide on the wood, and this one is about the same. It's also about 8 millimeters wide. So to me, that feels really good in the hand. The lead looks also to be fairly substantial. If I could eyeball this, because I don't have a caliper, I would say it is about almost 4 millimeters. So that's pretty substantial. Let me check again with this. Now, these are the watercolor pencils. They're not the Polychromos, but they're by the same manufacturer, so that's why I wanted to use them to test. Yeah, about 4 millimeters on the lead. So that's nice. And I know that you can look that up and be much more accurate than I can with my eyeballing it. So on here it says Artist Color Pencils, Smooth Pinting, bright colors, and high quality. And a number 246. So they probably all have that. They don't say what the name of the color is, so you would probably want to swatch all of these out before you get started. I do have some Arches hot press, which is what I like to use when I'm coloring with colored pencil. And I thought for just something quick and simple today, we could do a candy cane.
Then I traveled through the 7 levels of the candy cane forest.
I'm gonna go in first with just a regular pencil and sketch a little candy cane.
I've got this part on double speed because I am not a colored pencil artist. This is just a little sketch of the candy cane. And you'll see when it's done, my little candy cane ends up a little bit wonky. But you know what? If I were a child and I got that candy cane in my stocking, I'd be pretty happy about it. So this is just for fun. I just wanted to have a little demo here to show you guys how these colored pencils layer and how they work. So please don't consider this a tutorial on how to do colored pencil, because I am just winging it, and I just wanted to test these and see what I could come up with. If you want to wing it right along with me, please do. I'm just using the same basic shading principles that I would for any other painting or drawing.
All right, now what I like to do is go over this with like a kneaded eraser, but I cannot find mine. So we're just going to erase it really lightly so that my guidelines are still there, but overall the pencil lines are not. So I do apologize if you can't really see that, but it's there. Okay, so I've already sharpened this one. I found the red here. This is number 121. Same thing, they all say the same thing on there, that it is smooth painting and bright colors. So let's see if we can have a smooth paint.
Alrighty, we are going quite a bit faster. I think I've got this sped up at 8 times the speed. I have the first layer down, and now I'm going in with the next darker shade. and filling in that first layer of shadows. So like I said, this is just such a simple little drawing. It's just to test and see what the colors look like when they go down. I had no trouble layering them. I really enjoyed this process, and the thing that really stood out to me is that if I were using Prismacolors for this, I would be using that drafting brush an awful lot to get rid of the crumbs. I had 0 crumbs on this. They did feel really smooth. I had no problem with feeling like they were grabbing the paper weirdly in any way. So I did enjoy that. Sharpening. Sometimes I had some issues with sharpening. Now, normally I do use an electric pencil sharpener, and I know that everybody has a strong opinion about what sharpener to use with whatever it is, a colored pencil or a pastel or whatever it is you're sharpening. I switched over to a manual because this one kept breaking. You can see how short it is, and that did get really frustrating. But other than that, I have no problem with these pencils. I enjoyed this process. My drawing is a little crooked, but that's okay. And the shades layered down really beautifully. I went in here with this blue to create a shadow on the white and overall through the edges of the candy cane to make it look a little more three-dimensional. And the blue laid on there just perfectly. And I already had 3 layers on the edges there with the red, and I did just take that blue right over it, and it took just fine. For these berries here, I think I put in 3 layers at first, and then I went over it with those odorless mineral spirits and added a little more shadows. Plus, I put in a little dot of gold at the end on some of the berries, on each of the berries actually, and a little bit on the leaves just to kind of highlight some of that little gold sparkle that may have been on there. It didn't show up that much. I'm never all that crazy about metallic colored pencils, but if you really like using them, you know that you do get 3 in here, and that is good. When we're done with all of this, I will show you the color swatch. But let's talk a little bit about price. If you were to purchase the full set of 120 Polychromos, you'd be paying $350 list, but you can get it at most stores for around $165. That's US dollars. AliExpress, I bought these for $60.60, but I signed up for their emails and I got a coupon, so I ended up paying $58.49, which is well worth it. Now here on these swatches, you can see the pigment laydown is actually pretty good. Now, nobody would think that these were actually Polychromos when you purchase them, especially given the price and the packaging and the source, but you know, they're decent pencils. I plan on using them, like I said, as a jump start to gradually segue into Polychromos. And you guys, you know what? I just really don't think that anyone would think that they were getting Polychromos when they purchased this set. Definitely for your sketchbook, for home, great, no problem. But if you're working on a commission piece, I would really recommend that you use a material where you can guarantee the light fastness, because that's just better all around. For you, for the client, it's just better. Now I've just got a Taklon brush, and I'm using it just to blend this out a little bit with some odorless mineral spirits. So I've zoomed in, and you can see what this looks like close up, how that odorless mineral spirits works to just kind of smooth that out and get rid of those colored pencil lines. It's a style. It's not one way or the other. There's no rule as to how your colored pencil drawing is going to look. If you like the look with the paper showing through there, that grainy look, that's fine. You can leave it like that. Or you can also blend with another colored pencil or a colorless blender. You can burnish it. I just decided with this little piece I wanted to try the odorless mineral spirits on these. And when I zoomed in, you can see how wonky my candy cane is. Definitely looks artisan, shall we say.
You made this?
So now I'm just finishing up those shadows on the berries and on the leaves a little bit. The fun thing about that odorless mineral spirits is that while it's still damp, you can color on top of it and still get a rich deposit of color. Overall, I felt like these had a really great pigment deposit. They felt like Prismacolors to me. They don't crumble as much, which I really liked. I only had 3 dead soldiers. Let me show you those. What I mean by that is leads that broke off in the sharpening, and here they are, 3 separate colored pencils. You know, it didn't inhibit my enjoyment at all. It was either the first or the second red that I used, maybe the third. When I was sharpening it, it really got quite a bit shorter. So, and it did break off twice. But other than that, like I said, they were a pleasure to use. I really enjoyed this set, and if you're looking for a budget-friendly way to get into some colored pencils and gradually segue into something like Polychromos, this might be the way to do it. This set is not enough for me to abandon my Prismacolors, and I just kind of believe that there's a lot of supplies for every need, and it's perfectly okay in my book to mix and match. The only thing that I cannot get information from the packaging on this particular set is about light fastness. So it does look like the numbers correlate on a one-to-one basis from the Polychromos. I checked a couple of them out, and they do seem to correlate. So for my purposes, wanting to replace each one as it runs out with a Polychromos might work really well. I didn't check the water solubility on these, so they do claim that that's something that works on the packaging, but I didn't test that. So there you go. We've got something to look forward to in a future video. Okay, you guys, I hope this review was helpful for you, and I hope you can draw a better candy cane than I can. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.